today I'm going to go about and talk about how I sketch figure poses. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below and I'll answer your questions. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Wong, comic book artist from Marvel, DC. I've done many published work, and if you want to learn more about me, check out my website. Website is waldenwongart.com. And if you enjoy these videos as well as some of my other videos, think about also supporting me over on my Patreon. Or if you want to join one of my mentorship tiers, feel free to check that out as well. My Patreon is patreon.com/WaldenWongArt, and there you see a lot of different tiers that you can show support as well as join mentorship. And speaking of mentorship, this is one of my mentees, who sent me some of the work. Okay, now that I have everything opened up, we're gonna look at maybe this drawing first. Okay, so this is a drawing that another artist worked on. It's a professionally drawn artist that is a published work, and then here's someone who tried to draw that image. Let me pull that image up. Let me find it. Okay, so here's the drawing that someone else drew. Okay, I'm going to take a look at this and show you how to look at angles and everything. Let me move these things out of the way. So many folders. Okay, so when we look at this reference folder here and we look at this, there's some images that are not drawn correctly. Like for example, I'm going to use maybe red ink so you guys can all see it. I'm going to increase the size of this. Okay, so here. So right here, when we look at it, when you're looking at artwork and you're drawing from reference, the best thing to do is look at angles and to make sure everything is going the same way. And you want to make sure everything is symmetrical. So for example, when you look at this line over here, it's angled this way, but then this one is not, this line here is too straight. See, this line is angled this way. You see the difference in angle? See, if I follow that same angle, this one's drawn a little bit incorrectly. So what we need to do to fix that is to make sure that follows that same angle. Okay, these skeletons that are over here, the best way to draw those is think about the basic shapes of drawing. We have basic shapes is a circle, square, triangle, and a cylinder. Okay, with these skeletons over here, they're all kind of like one in front of another. And what I'll do is I'll count how many of them there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So starting from here, I would sketch out a circle. Let me move this. Sketch out a circle first. Okay, and then sketch out another circle. I'll sketch very lightly. And then the circle here, it becomes more of an oval. As it goes towards the side, it becomes flatter. Okay, because what's happening, you're stacking stuff in front and you're stacking stuff behind it. So here's another oval. And then back here, you're doing a partial oval. This is how you make your drawing look 3D. Okay, and then from here, we follow these same angles to make sure they go the same direction. Okay, now with this chest over here, like when I'm looking at this part and this part, the curves here, we have a slight curve, but the angle is a little bit off. We'll notice that here it protrudes out here. This one's going straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this come out here, make this go here, here, and then we have to follow distance as well. Like when we look at this straight up, the line interacts there, and then here we have that line. So when I'm drawing and I'm sketching everything, I make sure everything is in proportion to one from top to bottom and left and right. Okay, we look at this arm here. Look at this arm. It's almost horizontal. It's almost straight. This one, it curves up that way. So right immediately, I can see that it's drawn incorrectly. We want to keep that the same. Okay, the mouth over here. You see the face over here. Okay, when we work on this face, we see there's an arch over here. This one, it looks like there's a dent here. Okay, even though like to a lot of people, when they're looking at this figure, it looks like it's a okay drawing, but when you're looking at certain lines, it's a little bit off. So here we need to fix this part. This part needs to bulge outwards, not going inwards like that. So I'm gonna draw a little line over here. Okay. Also the lips over here, we have the mouth that's open, but we forgot to draw the lip over there, that extra line over here. So usually when I'm drawing mouths, I would draw the center line, and then I would draw the open mouth like this, and then I would go in there and I'll draw the lips, and I'll draw the top of the lips like that. Okay, I'm going to take a look at some of the other areas. So hands is usually one of the hardest things to draw. The artist that drew this, it's kind of all wrong. I'm going to teach you all how to draw hands. Okay, usually when I'm drawing hands, the first thing I'll work on is the palm of the hand, this part, and I'll sketch that according to where all the reference photo is. I'll have this line coming here, this line here, and then I'll sketch the palm of the hand. I'll ignore all the fingers. I'll pretend all the fingers are not there. I'll just sketch that rectangle. Okay. After I have that rectangle, then I find out where all the fingers are. Okay, the 4 fingers. I don't worry about the thumb. I just sketch out where those fingers are, like this, and then I'll break it up into the separate parts of the hand. Okay, and then after that, then I'll put in the finger. Now I'm going to switch over to black so you guys can see how I go about drawing this. So I'll sketch it out lightly first. After I sketch it, then I'll go in there and then I'll put in all the details of the fingers. So we have this finger. This one's pointing towards the viewer. We have this finger here, the ring finger. Okay, and all I'm doing is just following my reference photo. And then I'm looking at my sketch to make sure I have everything in the right place. Okay. And then next I'll draw the thumb. The thumb goes over here. And then this one goes out here. Okay. And that's how I draw hand. Like, look at the other hand right here. We do see the 4 thumbs, but we do see the 4 fingers, but the thumb is kind of gone. So again, I'm going to sketch in red color to show you how I would draw hands. I would have that line. Here's the arm. And then ignoring all the fingers, I'll sketch out that rectangular block first. After I have that rectangular block, then I'll find out where all these fingers are. Those fingers, I'll sketch that as a rectangle like this, and then I'll put in the thumb. Okay, after you have that, then you start separating the parts of the finger. You start drawing it like this. Okay, you're going to repeat that pattern, the rectangle around it like this, and then like this. And then next, you're going to draw the wrist part and then the thumb part. Okay, like this. Okay. So right over here, that thumb that was originally drawn is missing it. So I'm just going to go in here and kind of fix that. And then the shape of these fingers is off. Look at this line here. It goes this direction, which is this direction. We want to make sure that is going on the same direction. And then I'll break it up into 4 parts, which is 3 lines in the middle. There's 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then after I sketch it, which I have a grid of, then I'll go in there and I'll draw it a little bit darker. So here's the first finger. I'll repeat that rectangle. What you're doing is you're drawing one rectangle. You're just repeating the next rectangle right next to it. Okay. So right over here, we're going to repeat that and repeat that. And then you have the rest of the fingers. Sometimes people are drawing fingers and then they're drawing the toes and feet and things like that. It's really easy to all you have to do is just think of repeating things if everything is aligned in the same place. Like, for example, if I was drawing someone's feet, here's the ankle, okay, here's the heel, and then we have the toes goes like that. All I'm doing is I'm just repeating that same line right over here. So that line, you repeat that same line, repeat that same line, repeat that same line. And then now you have the feet, okay? Just like fingers, if they're doing something like a fist or something, just sketch out the palm of the hand, sketch out where the fingers are, just with a rectangle, and then we're going to know the thumb's going to be there. After you have the rectangle, break it up into the 4 pieces of the fingers, and then go back in there and then use each rectangle as a finger. So I'll draw the pointing finger first. We have the pointing finger going this way, okay? And then after that, you're just repeating this line. So we have this line, repeating that line, okay, repeating the blocks, and then you're gonna go in here and then draw the thumb like that, Okay, we're gonna take a look at some of the other drawings. The other areas over here, they look pretty well, but some of the line work in between is missing. So a lot of times when you're drawing the anatomy, it's good to kind of study the anatomy. Sometimes go online and look at the human body and look at how the form of the body works. Okay, we're gonna take a look at the other figure that was drawn, which is this female figure over here. Let me see if I can find the reference photo that was used. That one is over here. Okay, so right on this one, there's a few things that I can see that is off already. I'm going to zoom in larger. Looking at this, it may look like a good drawing, and majority of it is pretty good, but some angles are off, and also the size is off. Okay, now I'm going to show you all how to look at reference photo and how to remember the reference photo and how to apply it towards your drawing. It's all about curves, angles, and measurements. Okay, so right over here, I'll look at this shoulder here. You see that curve over here? Okay, you want to maintain that curve. Okay, so that curve over here. Now, when we look at the original drawing, there's a box over here. It shouldn't be a box. Okay, it should be more of a curve. And not any curve, that curve cannot be like this, that curve cannot be like that. You want to maintain that same curve. So if you're drawing from reference photo and you want to draw the same reference, you want to maintain that same curve. Okay, this isn't just for figure drawing, it's also if you're drawing trees or if you're drawing animals or anything, you want to maintain all the curves. Okay, so right over here, now we look at the distance over here. We look at the body, how big the block of the body is to where the waist is. Okay, now this body here, this block over here, which is the body, there's a spine, and then here's the waist. Okay, this curve kind of curved in way too soon. Okay, so this line should actually go all the way down to here, and then it protrudes out. Okay, when you're drawing the human body, you have to think of the torso as a box. Okay, so facing forward, you have a box for torso. Okay, like this, just a regular box, like a bar of soap. In between, you have a spine, and then you have the waist over here. This part over here flexes and moves. So if I'm turning this box going this way for the human body, okay, we're just working on perspective. And then we have the spine, and then we have this box going this way. That is how this figure works. Okay, we have to maintain the thickness and the proportion of the torso in comparison to where the waist is. Okay, we're going to take a look at the rest. Now over here, now the arms over here it looks okay, but we still need to always think about looking at forms. So this line isn't a straight line here. You can see a bulge over here. Okay, I'm going to draw that line right over here. See that curve? Over here, there's a slight curve, but it's still a little bit too straight. So I'm going to go in here and draw that line to show you how it looks like. Right here, comes out a little bit, and then it goes inside. And then here, this one goes to the elbow, and then here's the wrist. Here's the rest of the arm. Okay, just with the shoulder, look at how much this shoulder comes right out. Okay, this one is too straight. It's too straight. Like if I draw this line, if I were to draw a straight line from here to here, you see that empty negative space over there? Right here, if I draw that line, that empty negative space is much more smaller. So what we need to do to fix this is to have the shoulder come out more, and then go back in, and then follow the rest of the form over here. Okay, nice drawing of the face. The measurement of the face is a little bit off. The mouth should be a little bit lower. Okay, and if you're drawing from reference photo, sometimes it's good to understand how body parts are supposed to look. Like for example, we can't really see what the details of the ear is over here, and over here it's just like all we drawn is this one. We know that an ear has this shape. You have the letter Y here and the letter C. So if I'm drawing a regular ear, you have that part of the ear. Here's the eyes, nose, and here's the mouth. Okay, and then we have this part that goes up here. We have the letter Y, and then we have the letter C. So these are the parts of drawing ears. Okay, then we took a look at the rest. Okay, now again, here's another thing that we need to look at. The neck, you see the distance between the chin and the shoulder. There's a good distance from here. Right here, the distance is kind of close. So we need to move that head a little bit further away from the body to make sure it matches. So I'm just going to move that further out. Okay. Just going to move it out to here. So this one is better. And then we will draw the neck. This part matches a little bit better. Okay. The details of the wrapping of the fabric. This part is just drawing curves, wrapping around the anatomy of the body like this, going here. And then I'm just sketching it first. And then after sketching it, then you can draw it. When you're drawing these, try to curve these part a little bit more, so it's a little bit better. Okay, I would just curve this a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to close this one. Actually, I'm going to save this one. File, save. And I'm going to close this one, and then we're going to look at some of the other ones. File, save, close this one, save changes. Let's just save this. Okay, here's another drawing that this is a drawing from a professional artist, and here's a drawing that someone else tried to draw based on what was drawn professionally. Few things off. Okay, now right away when we're looking at the arm of this body, look at this angle. Okay, now when I draw this line here, the angle is different. Okay, we should maintain that same angle when you're drawing, unless you purposely want to draw it differently. So I'm just going to take this part of the arm. Let me go here, select this, select the lasso tool. Okay, move this over lasso tool. Okay, I'm going to select this arm and make sure it's angled in the right angle. Okay, select this arm here. Okay, and then I'm going to angle it. This is the correct angle. Okay, see that line? This line will follow that same angle. Okay, same with the other arm. We're going to take a look at this arm. That line goes this direction. This one was drawn too straight. Okay, so here I'm just going to take that arm and then angle it to make sure it's the right angle. Okay, so anytime you guys are drawing, make sure you look at angles. Okay, sometimes you watch a movie or watch TV, and you see an artist drawing on a beach or something. You see them use a thumb, or you see them use a pencil, and then they're actually going like this. They're actually measuring angles. Okay, measuring angles, and they're also measuring proportions. They'll use a thumb to go up and down. What they're doing is they're looking at the reference order and they're measuring, okay, here's the head. And then from the head, here's the body. And then when they draw it, they use that same measurements to draw on their drawing. Okay, so here, now that I have the arms in the right area, that tells me that the legs, like where the knees are drawn too small. Okay, so here I'm just going to draw the legs. This one over here is okay, but this one's a little bit off. So I'm just going to draw this one a little bit bigger. Okay, now earlier we talked about toes and how to draw toes. There's only 4 toes here. I think the reference photo is also 4 toes. 2 of them are curled up. So if I'm drawing these toes and I'm drawing feet, just like drawing hands, I'll sketch out the feet area first as a block. Okay, here's a 3D block. And then I'll sketch out where the shape of the feet with the block. And then I'll divide it into the shapes. And then when I draw the feet, I'll go in here and I'll draw it like this. Okay, I'll draw each section. I'll repeat that line right over here. I'll repeat that same line. Repeat that same line. And then as I get towards the pinky toe, it gets smaller. Okay, and then here's the toenail. Okay, this works really well when you're drawing feet. Okay, because feet is pretty much all kind of in the same place. Okay, Now I'm going to take a look at some of the other areas. So symmetry is also important. Now, when we look at this, we have this one is way up here and then this one's down here. We want to make sure everything is kind of in the same. So if this person has a thicker neck, we want to maintain that same thickness over here. Okay. Ears are drawn in correctly. We just have the outside. We need to make sure there's the inside part of the ear. So from the front view, we have that. So I'm going to draw that again in black. So we have this part here, and then the outside of the ear. And then same thing, we have that lobe, we have this part, and then here. That's how we draw face ears. I'll draw it on the other side. We have this part, goes around, comes here. We have this part here that goes around. Okay, I'm going to draw it from the side view so you guys can see what I'm doing. This part is this section. Okay, that letter Y goes here, which is right over here. And then we have that letter C. That one goes over there. So this is the side view, and this is if the person is like facing forward that direction. Okay. Here, anytime I draw eyes, I always like to draw the top of the eye a little bit thicker. Okay. Because usually the eyelid casts a shadow on the eye, and then I'll draw that eye thicker. When you're drawing the iris and the pupil, you're gonna draw that much of it. Never draw the whole circle. That's incorrect. I usually draw a portion, either looking up, looking down, or if it's looking at this, the left direction, I'll just draw a portion of it. Okay. The other part of the eye goes down here, and the other part goes over here. Okay. Then next, I'm going to look at the rest of the body, make sure everything else is okay. Okay, there's some anatomy lines that are off. Okay, these lines go a little bit lower. So I'm just going to move these lines. And let me use red color. Move these lines a little bit lower here, here, and here. And here's another thing, the angle. The collarbone, this is the collarbone. Okay, this collarbone is too straight over here. Because of the arm is going up this way, the collar also, this bone over here also moves. Okay, so if the arm is going up this way, that collarbone should angle. See these collarbone here is angled this way. We want to maintain that. Anytime you have your arm like a certain way, the muscle also moves along with it. You want to make sure everything is done the same way. Some of these arches on the hand also is a little bit off. So we have this wide line and it comes into the wrist. So here it's just wide, and then all of a sudden it comes here. It comes right into to the center. We need to make that wider here and then come down here. Okay. Otherwise, the other part is pretty good. The bottom of the lip, I would add a little bit of a thickness over here to show that that there's the bottom of the lip. The top of the lip always thicker, just like the top of the eye. And drawing eyes, I'll add the sheen. Let me use backlight. I'll add the gloss and then separate eye and the iris. Okay. Let me take a look at the other parts. The other parts are okay. Folds are important. A lot of students, they have a hard time drawing folds. So what I'll do is when I draw folds, it's just a lot of lines that goes into different direction. You're just drawing inwards. So for example, I'm going to draw this whole pants over here and how I would draw the folds. Okay, I'm going to use black. So I'll draw the knee and I'll have that line just go inside and just go in here and just draw these extra lines. Okay, it's very easy to draw fold. Just make sure those lines goes on the inside, and then we have lines that goes like this. Okay, you have a fold like this. You have some folds, and then some folds over. Okay, I'm going to close this one, and then look at the others. Save changes. Okay, this one is, here's another one that was drawn, and I'm going to look for, where is it? Let me see if I can find this one. File, open. That's this one. Here we go. Okay, so this one is a professionally drawn one on the left. That's all colored. This was taken from a book, and then here's a drawing that a student drew. Okay, so there's a few areas that are off, like the drawing. Unless you're drawing something and you're changing the angle, a few things that are off. Okay, I'm going to add more paper. So this leg over here, we'll look at this foot here and then look at the top of this line. Okay, here, so here's this foot, this line over here. Let me grab red. This line, you see how much more leg over here? Okay, this leg goes way further higher. I'm going to move this leg a little bit. I'm going to redraw this. Actually, I'm just going to use Photoshop and then just kind of transform it right here. Select this, transform, extend this leg higher, and then turn this going this way. Okay, and then this leg here angles everybody. We have this line going this direction. This one is going this direction. So it's a wrong direction. So I'm just going to adjust that leg to make sure it's angled in the right direction. So I'm going to angle it this way. Okay. And it's also longer. So I'm just going to adjust it longer. Okay. Like this. So this is more of the correct way. Okay. And then I'm just going to re-angle this one. Re-angle this one to make sure it points this direction. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take this leg and then adjust it to make sure it's the right direction. Okay, so this leg goes this direction. Okay, ignore all the black areas over there. Now, objects that are closer to you gets larger than our objects in the back. So if you're drawing, say I'm drawing a box, okay? If this box is placed further away in the back, that same box will become smaller. Okay. Having said that, this shoe here is closer to the viewer because the leg is bent and is going closer to the viewer. So this leg, this shoe here is drawn too small. So it's not only is it drawn too small, it's also drawn in the wrong angle. So we're going to fix that. First of all, the shin area needs to be a little bit wider. Okay, it should be this much bigger. Okay, and then this leg here, I'm just gonna, instead of redrawing, I'm just gonna use Photoshop to adjust it. We're gonna make this foot much bigger, and then we're gonna angle it into the correct angle, like this. Okay, and then when I do this, I'm looking at the reference photo. I'm looking at where the tip of this matches where the pants is. So here's the tip. This matches the pants. We're gonna look at the bottom. We're gonna move this up. So this is the correct angle of where the drawing should be. Okay. Now we're going to look at the rest of the body. That's the leg. Let me try to erase some of this. Here's eraser. Let me erase some of this. Actually, let me grab this so it looks a little bit better. Sample this color and then use that as eraser. Erase this color. Okay. Get rid of all that black area so it's easier to see. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at the arm. The arm is drawn incorrectly. It's too short compared to the rest of the body. Okay. I'm going to grab red color. Okay. Now looking at the reference photo, I'm teaching you all how to look at reference photo and how to transfer what you're looking at into your drawing. Here's the elbow. I see that in a circle, and here is right next to where the body, the back part of the body is. Here's that measurement. Here is that line that I sketched, and the elbow belongs right over there. Okay. Now I'm not going to redraw it. I'm just going to take the drawing that was already drawn and reposition it. Okay. The drawing is okay, but I'm just going to reposition it. So I'm going to take this, re-angle this. This one, this arm should be right here. Okay. Right about here. Okay. And then this arm here, I'm just gonna take it and reposition it and adjust the size. So instead of erasing it, I'm just gonna take this, okay, and gonna make this a little bit larger and make sure it's the same angle. Now, before I do anything, look at this angle, and then look at this angle. So it's the wrong angle. We want to keep it the same angle. So I'm just gonna take this one, enlarge it, make sure it goes on this angle, the same angle, like that. Okay, and then I'm going to move this one back into the right place. Okay, so this one belongs like right over there. Okay, now It looks like the hands were drawn improperly. Also, the head is also in the wrong angle too, and the hands. Okay, so I'm going to take this head, tilt the head into the right area. Should be this way. Okay, and also the head should be bigger. Okay, like this. Okay, we don't worry about the hair now. We're just going to worry about the body parts. Okay, and then the hand, I'm just going to take this hand, make that hand a little bit larger, because when I look at this hand, it almost covers up this side of the face. So here, take that hand, make it a little bit larger, draw it a little bit larger. I'm doing this so I don't have to erase it and redraw like this. And then I'll take this hand here and reposition it into the right angle. So originally it was just facing this way. It's over here at the reference photo. It's covering the face a little bit. So I'm just going to move this hand over here. So this is a better angle of the drawing. So I'm going to show you the before drawing. Before drawing was like this. Okay. And then what I've done was I looked at all the angles, take the same drawing, and then reposition it, redraw some of it larger, redraw some of it smaller, and then we have that. Okay, so here's the hand of the reference photo. It's facing this way, and then here's this hand. This hand is kind of off. Okay, so what's happening here with this hand is we see that this is the back of the palm, and then there's some of the fingers that's facing behind some of these rocks. Okay, so I'm going to draw that from scratch. Okay, so we have the wrist that's over here. We have the, let's see, the wrist. Actually, we draw it right here. We have the wrist here. Okay, I'll draw the palm of the hand, the back part of the hand. I'll see that as a box. So instead of drawing the hand like this, I'm drawing it like this. Okay. Okay. After that, I'll find out where the fingers are. Okay, the fingers, I'm fanning it out that way. So at this reference photo, these fingers are fanned out that way. After I find out where those fingers are, I'll separate each finger. There's one finger here. There's like a couple of fingers there. And I imagine everything else is not there. Once I have that, then I'll start drawing from my guide. Okay, so I have my guide. I'll draw the knuckles and then each part of the bone of the fingers. Okay, here's one of the fingers. And then on this side, here's a knuckle. And then we have this part of the finger. This finger goes way up here. Oops. This knuckle here, and then there, and then we have the rest of the other fingers that we don't see. Okay, and then we have the last knuckle, and then the wrist part, and then we have this part going this way. So that's the hand for the other hand. Let's take a look at this hand. Okay, the artist who drew this kind of drew the fingers wrong, but I'm going to approach demonstrating how I would draw this hand. Okay, so same thing, I would sketch out where the wrist is first. Okay, from the wrist, I'll find this on my hand. I'll find that box, that deck of cards. Okay, so I'll draw that deck of cards going this way. I'll see that as a box. Okay, after I have that box, I'll fan out where the fingers are. I'll just draw that. Earlier in the demonstration, I would draw like a rectangle shape. This one I draw a fan because I see the fingers aren't like this now. The fingers are more like this, so I'm adjusting it. And then here, I'm separating the fingers by looking at the negative space in between the fingers. I'm not drawing fingers, I'm drawing these areas. And then after I have that, then I'll go back and I'll draw the fingers with the hand. So right here, we have this finger, we have the knuckle, like this. Okay, and then the palm of the hand, and then we'll draw the other fingers right here, here. Then the knuckles, like that. Every time I draw fingers, I always protrude these knuckles. Okay, underneath knuckles, I have that fold in. Okay. So we're gonna have this part. Here's the one that goes in, and then the finger, and then the knuckles. And then we have the other finger, this side, and then we have the knuckles. and then the back of the palm of the hand, and then here's the rest of the wrist. Okay, and then that's that drawing. Okay, I'm going to save this. I'll save, and then next we have some freehand drawings. The freehand drawings, there's no reference photo, but then there's a few things that are a little bit off for the drawing. Now, when you're drawing a human anatomy, and you have a face and you draw the face really well, if I put my hand next to my face, the bottom of my hand here to the fingertip almost covers up to where my hairline is to the chin is. Okay. Having said that, now the drawing of the face over here looks nice, but the hand here is too small. I'm going to take this same hand and show you. I'm going to put that closer to the face, and we'll see that that hand comparison with the rest of the face is too small. That tells me that the drawing of the hand is too small, or the drawing of the head is too small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that hand that was originally drawn, I'm going to make it bigger in proportion to the face. Now, if these fingers were open, it would probably be here. I'm going to turn it around so we all can see. Okay, the heel of the hand, and if the fingers were extended, this would be the right size. Now, after I use that to measure how big the drawing of the hand is, I'm going to put this same hand drawing back to where it was. And then now when we look at it, it's more in proportion, the rest of the body. Okay, so here, before, see how small the hand is drawn in proportion with the body? It looks, the whole drawing is off. It just doesn't look correct. But if I make it bigger, the whole drawing looks much better. Okay. So here's this hand. This person is drawing a bow and arrow. I'm going to finish drawing the rest of this hand. It's not done. So we have a finger that's holding the bow. Okay, we have this finger again, the knuckles going out this way. Then we have this finger going this way, and then this one going this way. Okay, and then we have the bow and arrow that it's holding, and then we put a little bit of the thumb right over there. Okay, in drawing hands, I usually like to have show more of the form, regardless of what they're wearing. If they're wearing clothing, you should still see form. If they have fabric, you should still see form. Let's just say this is a skin tight drawing. So with the arm, here's the wrist that goes in here. Here's the palm of the hand. You should have these forms over here. And then from here to here, you draw the shape of the body. Never just draw straight lines, okay? So from here, this arm here, you see there's a straight line. It looks much better if you're drawing the form of the body, like that, okay? So here's this wrist that goes in, and then from here, it goes larger, and it goes around. And then from here, we have the biceps, like that, okay? Now with the face, I'm gonna demonstrate how I draw nose. Okay, when I draw nose, usually in my mind I see marbles. So I will have one marble like this, and then a smaller marble, and then another smaller marble, and then I would draw lines around that marble. So having these marbles for this nose, I would draw this nostril like this, and then this nostril goes this direction, and then I will have this line that goes around here, here, and then here. Okay, that's how I draw the nose here. Okay, I like how this eye is drawn bigger and this one's drawn smaller. Always, again, just like earlier in this demonstration, the top eyelid, always draw it thicker. Okay, when you draw it thicker, there's more depth into your artwork. So I'm just going to go in here and just darken up some of these, redraw some of those lines. Okay, this one goes this way. Go this way. Now, if you have a nose that's facing towards the viewer, then here I'm going to use those circles again. We have one circle, two circle, three circle. If it's facing towards the viewer, those nostrils are the same. Okay, it's symmetrical. But if the nose is turned towards like a different direction, we have this smaller nostril, we have this center nose, and then we have this part. We don't draw this part. Let me use black. We don't draw this part the same as that part. Instead, what you need to do is you draw this nostril here. Okay, this nostril you only see partial like that. Okay, and then here we have this side of the nose. We have the other side of the nose, and then right here it comes back up this way. Okay, you don't draw this and you don't draw that. Okay, what you want to draw is you want to have this come up that way. Okay, and then the rest of the nose you can do shadow and painting like that. Okay, I'll draw that same nose facing the other direction, using circles again. We're gonna have this one maybe facing downwards. Okay, so we have one circle, which is one of the side of the nose. We have the bigger circle, and then we have this one. Okay, now when I draw this nose in black, I'll use those circles. I'll draw these lines. And I'll draw this. Okay, and then here I'll draw this line like this, like that. And that's how I draw the nose. This is bird's eye view looking down at the nose. So always try to use these circles when you're drawing nose, or imagine those circles are there and then draw around it. So if I had a circle here, a circle here, and a circle here, I don't always have to draw it. I imagine it already there, and then I'll just go ahead and then I'll draw the nostrils accordingly. Okay, here's this nostril, here's this one, here's this one, go around nose, and then like that. Okay. Okay, let me take a look at the rest. Okay, when I draw fabric around the body, what I usually do is I'll have this line go a little bit further out. Instead of it following exactly where the shoulder pad is, unless that fabric is drenched wet and it's like pressing down on it, it should be a little bit more puffy. So right here, I'm just gonna have this line here, and then this one angle out and then fold over. If you have fabric folding over, it looks a little bit nicer. Okay, regardless of what you're wearing. If you're wearing like a t-shirt over jeans, it's always better to have it a little bit going nicer. Okay, this one it looks like it's a rope that wraps around the head. What I would like to do is have instead of this line going straight here, I want to create depth. So what I'll do is I'll just have this line go here, and then this side come out from here. Okay, now take it a step further. I'll just maybe even add some folds there. So now the veil that this person is wearing looks a little bit nicer. When I draw pads, I also add shadows, like the shadows here. Instead of just a line here, I'm just going to add a little bit of a shadow underneath here. Add shadows here, add shadows underneath here, and then just to give more depth to your artwork. If there's folds here, I'll just draw some shadows here and there. Okay, so there's that drawing. Okay, also this bicep here, muscle here, and then here. Okay, same with here. Okay, next I'm going to look at some other freehand drawings. File, save. Okay, save, cancel, just close and then save. Okay, let me make this into a cancel, layer, flatten image, file, save. Why I can't save? Layer, file, save as, JPEG, call it whatever. Okay, now here's some freehand drawings, a lot of drawings. Okay, now again, we're going to talk about basic shapes of drawing. Some of you feel free to bring out a piece of paper and pencil and then follow along with me. Basic shapes of drawing, I'm going to draw it right over here. We have circle. When we're drawing human anatomy, we have the head and circles and shoulders and things like that. We have a rectangle, we have a triangle, and then we have cylinders. Okay, we use cylinders because it's better for foreshortening. Like for example, if you're drawing an arm facing forward, like this arm here. Okay, this one looks a little bit kind of wonky. What I'll do is I'll draw this cylinder for this arm going this way. Okay, there's a cylinder, and then I'll draw this arm going this way. Okay, and then for the hand, I'll draw that as a rectangle, and then I'll draw the fingers. Okay, so I'm going to break it up so we can see a little better. We have the hand, which is a rectangle. I'll sketch out the fingers where I want it to be. And then right behind that, I'll draw the cylinder, okay, for the arm. Okay, and then I'll draw this cylinder like this. Okay, to make this drawing here more dynamic, what I'll do is I'll tilt the cylinder instead of it being facing the front. I'm going to have that same hand going this way. We'll have the fingers like this. And then now the cylinder, instead of the cylinder being like that, I'm going to change that cylinder to go this direction. Okay, so this cylinder goes this direction. And then we maintain that same cylinder. There's more dynamic into that drawing instead. Okay, now when I'm sketching anatomy, okay, what I'll do is I'm going to sketch. Let me grab more paper. Image, canvas size. I'm going to go like this, and 34, 60, something like that. Okay, actually, let me grab white paper. Image, canvas size here, 50. Okay. Now, sketching the human figure. Let me grab blue color. Cancel here, and then blue. Okay. So right now the sketch looks okay. The head is a little bit too big, unless this is more like an anime drawing, almost like those Japanese artwork drawing. We want to maintain the width of the head with the rest of the shoulder. So I'm going to sketch the same image and show you how I approach sketching it out. I'll start off with a rectangle for the body, and then when I'm sketching, I'll just do a lot of little lines like this. Okay, and then I'll find out where the waist is. After that, I'll find out where the shoulders are. I'll draw those as circles, and then I'll find out where the elbows are, like this, and then I'll find out where the hands are. Okay, now for the head, the width of the head is usually 1/3. Okay, so imagine fitting 3 heads inside. So knowing where my shoulder areas are, I divide it into 3s, and then that's how I know how big the head is. Anything bigger it's more of like almost like Japanese animation, manga, or animes. So I would just sketch the head a little bit smaller to fit 3 heads inside. And then after having the head, then I'll put the cylinder. Next, once I have all these circles in place, then I'll place the cylinders into the right area. Yeah, or you can use rectangles or cylinders. So, but cylinders help me see the form a little bit better. Okay, now going here, I'm going to look for where the knees are. I'll look for the circle. I'll just sketch the circle in, and then I'll place this cylinder right over here. This cylinder is behind this leg, and then this one goes behind here. Okay, and after that, I'll sketch a rectangular box for the feet. Right here, I'll also sketch another rectangle box, so it looks like this character is like the feet is up. So right here, I'm just going to move this up a little bit and sketch the body a little bit too big. There we go. Okay, this other character here, anatomy is a little bit off. I'm just going to go and show you how I approach doing that. Okay, but this head needs to be a little bit bigger. Okay, so the other one, I'll sketch the body, the rectangle here. The body is twisting. Okay, I'll sketch the waist. Okay. The shoulders, circle here, circle here. Okay, I'll find out where I want this arm to be. The other arm, the elbow is going to be right there. Here's the cylinder connecting this arm, and then here's this cylinder. Actually, I'm going to have this cylinder maybe go this direction. And then here's the hand. And then this one, here's the elbow, and then here's the hand. And I'll connect the cylinder, and then a little bit of the cylinder, and then the head. Here's the head. Again, fit 2/3 of that, 1/3 of that in there. And then I'll find out where the knee is. I'll find out where this knee is, and then I'll place this cylinder. If it's a female, a little bit longer. If it's a male, it's a little bit shorter. This part, and then we have this leg, and then the feet over here. Okay, and then the other one, I'll place another cylinder behind here, and then I'll place the feet there. So you see all the body parts. Okay, this drawing over here, I'm gonna take this and then draw it right over here. Take this image here, move it here. so I can show you all. Okay, so this one. Okay, so imagining the arms out there, I would sketch the body first. So with the body, I'll just sketch the rectangular shape first. Seems like it's going this direction. Okay, after that, I'll find where the torso is. Okay, now here is where I draw the elbow. Okay, I'll sketch the circle first. After I sketch the circle, I'll connect that cylinder towards the shoulder. I'll find out where the hand is. I'll sketch it as a rectangle, and then I'll sketch the rest of the cylinder around it. Okay, in the head, I'll place that circle right over here. Okay, the other part of the body, so earlier I was sketching all these circles here. Now I'm just going to sketch a partial circle because the body is blocking the rest of it. Okay, we're going to make this hand go. I'm going to find out where this elbow is. We're just going to connect this cylinder here. And then we're going to put this hand maybe pointing. Okay, pointing like that. And then I'll put that cylinder connecting. Okay, so for the rest of the body, I'll find out where, let's just have this person maybe standing there. I'll find maybe standing on top of a box or something. Okay, one leg standing on the floor, one leg on the box. I'll find out where this elbow knee is. I'll find out where the other knee is. I'll just place that there. Then I'll connect the cylinder. There's a circle over here too. And then here's, I'll connect the cylinder, and then I'll sketch the bottom. And then here's the leg. I'll sketch that as a box. And then this one, I'm going to sketch that as a box over here. And then here's standing on the box. Okay, so we have that figure. Okay, so it's all about maintaining proportions and sketching the figure correctly. Now I'm going to show you how to sketch this one. I'm going to move this one right over. I'm going to move it, and I just keep it in the same place. Okay, I'm just going to draw it right next to it. So this one looks like it's a person that's sitting down, and it's kind of like kind of leaning towards the other direction. So ignoring all the body parts, like the limbs and the legs and the head, first thing I focus on is sketching the body first. Okay, so I'll see that kind of angle this way. This is the body, and then the waist is kind of sitting this direction. The body is twisting. Okay, after I have that, I'll look for where the shoulders are by sketching a circle, and then a circle on this side. Okay, once I have that, I'll find out where the elbows are. I'll sketch the elbow. This one, I'll sketch the elbow over here, like this. And then the head, we have a little cylinder, and then we have this part. Okay, I'm going to find out where the knees are. Okay, the knees, I'm going to place one knee here. And I'm going to make this knee a little bit higher just to make it more of a dynamic movement instead of just sitting there kind of looking boring. Okay, after I have that, then I'll connect this cylinder to the waist, and then this cylinder here, and then to the leg right over here. Okay, the other leg, I'm going to have this cylinder connecting. Let me redraw that cylinder. This cylinder connecting here, and then I'm going to put this leg, maybe this foot up here. I'll sketch that as a box, and then I'll connect this cylinder to that box. Okay, the rest of it, I'm going to have this hand, maybe this hand go right over here, rectangle hand, and then just imagine the fingers are going to be like that. I'll connect the cylinder to this circle, cylinder, and then this hand, I'm going to have it maybe facing this way. Here's the hand, and then imagine these are the fingers. I'll connect the cylinder towards the elbow, and then this one here. And then here's the front of the body, and then kind of facing this direction. Okay, so there's that one. And let's see, I think did I do all of them? Yeah, that's all 4 of them. So that's how I approach sketching out figures. Always easier to sketch out the form of the body first, find out where the top part of the body is, to find out where the waist is, and then go about moving the rest of the bodies later. I'm going to draw one more just to enforce what you guys all learned today. We're going to change this figure maybe in a really different position. Okay, I'm going to sketch the body first. We're going to have this body more dynamic, like this. Okay, and then we're going to have his waist. Let's say he's kind of like pivoting his waist this way. Okay, like he's twisting, like he's kind of like twisting. Maybe twist this way, not too much of a twist. So I sketched that as a bust. Okay. Now this arm, we're gonna have the arm kind of go like this, like that, and then maybe like this. Okay. Just to quickly, so you can see what I'm imagining. I'm gonna have this shoulder a little bit further back, and then this shoulder a little bit further front. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna move it around a little bit, and then here the elbow. I'm just gonna move this elbow here, and then this elbow right over here. And then now I'm going to have this hand, the rectangle hand, like that. And then this hand, rectangle hand, and then the thumb like this. And then I'll connect this part. Now, when you're drawing the shoulders from the elbow to the, from the shoulders to the elbow, usually the cylinder part is bigger here and it gets narrow as it gets towards the elbow. Same with here, you start with the same width and this one gets narrow over here. Okay, so with this one, we're going to add this wider cylinder, get smaller towards the elbow. From here, you're going to get wider elbow, it gets smaller towards the wrist. Okay, this head, I'm going to have that head kind of like look up and kind of like looking up in the sky. So here's the neck. I'm going to have that head kind of looking up this way. Okay, I'll draw that grid line to make sure I know how to draw it. So now this head is looking upwards. And then this knee, we're going to have it where we're looking at it and it's a bird's eye view. You see the top part of the body bigger and then the legs a little bit smaller. So here I'm going to have this knee smaller. Okay, I'm going to draw this cylinder going this way. Okay, and then I'm going to find out where the feet is. Instead of drawing the whole bottom part of the feet, I don't draw the shin. The shin is the ankle, the leg between the knee to the knee to the ankles. Okay, I'm going to have that feet kind of like right over here. Okay, like that. Then I'll draw the other portion of the feet as a cylinder like this. Okay, so there's foreshortening where the top of the body is bigger and you're looking back and it's further. Okay, now the rest of the legs, we're going to have it maybe looks like he's kind of like jumping up, like reaching for a basketball, like something. So this knee is here. The other knee is a little bit lower. I'm going to have this knee a little bit lower over here. I'll sketch that circle first. And then this knee goes all the way back over here. Let me redraw this one. Okay, this knee goes all the way back over here. And then this leg goes back. Let me zoom out. This leg goes back over here. That's one of my persons that I'm mentoring over on my Patreon page. So if you're interested in being one of my patrons, check that out. My Patreon is patreon.com/WaldenWongArt. Different tiers of subscribing to mentorship tiers. I'll do the markups and I'll send these back to the person that I'm mentoring, and I'm also upload these videos so you can also learn from it. And if you want to learn more about me, my name is Walden Wong, time of artist from Walden, DC. You can check out my website, it's waldenwongart.com. And over there, there's a lot of different things that you can look at: video, blogs, stuff that you can purchase, and art and news and all the books that I've worked on that you can check out. So check it out. And hope you enjoy this video. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And keep on drawing, keep on sketching. The more you sketch, the better you'll get at it. Take care and have a great day. Bye.